Hey guys, we are back on the grind. I have, I'm pretty sure, completed all the live events.
By interior measurements and the holiest Christian shrine anywhere. And yet there are some researchers who don't believe St. Peter's bones are there at all, and they think the Vatican is lying about it. Liberato Di Caro from the National Research Council of Italy is currently searching for the true location of St. Peter's.
What have we got upcoming? Smash and Stash.
When the first basilica was built on Vatican Hill, there's no way it was constructed in St. Peter's honor. It was Emperor Constantine.
We have a look at my collection.
However, due to the rampant Christian persecution,
only missing 4 cards. 2 from WrestleMania 1, 2 from WrestleMania 2. Haven't started on the rubies as yet. And everything else is pretty much done. Yeah. No idea when we're getting these, but neither here nor there, because none of them really help with the grind.
There is a wild rumor that somewhere in the Vatican secret archives, proof of an immense cover-up is hiding. This document would flip everything we know about Jesus Christ and the Church on its head. If it does exist...
Alright, it's grind time.
40 feet, 12 meters underground. The supposed document allegedly contains the truth of what happened when Jesus was crucified. The theory is that Jesus never died on the cross, but that a group of conspirators faked his death and subsequent resurrection so that he would become the figurehead the early church needed to gain power. The deal was supposedly made with Pontius Pilate, the legendary Roman who ordered Jesus to be killed. It's believed that
the Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go, what's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu, and that DDT was well delivered.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it? 2! Got it. There's the winners of the tag match.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
Galileo's fourth transcript. It was on April 12th, 1633, that Galileo Galilei was accused of heresy. The chief inquisitor for Pope Urban VIII, Father Vincenzo Maradani da Piazzolla, began the investigation into the famous astronomer for his heretical science. Galileo was officially ordered to hand himself over to Vatican officials and stand trial. His charge of heresy stemmed from the fact that he was publicly announcing that the Earth revolves around the Sun. The Catholic Church deemed this blasphemous because, according to them, the Sun revolved around the Earth.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way. He has all the JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Jacob about to end this fight. This has to be it. 2! Comes out on top in this tag team match.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob.
This was his way around being hanged for his scientific beliefs. However, his excuse didn't work this time. He was found guilty of having believed that the sun is the center of the world and that it does not move from east to west. He was ordered to be imprisoned and spent the rest of his life under house arrest. He was also forced to recite the 7 penitential psalms once a week for 3 years. One of the most fascinating things in the Vatican archives is the physical transcript of the 17th century trial.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar. He has all the JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Wow. Is that all she wrote?
During that time, King Philip IV of France had the Knights Templar arrested, brought up on charges of heresy and immorality, and then had them executed. The military order of the Poor Knights of Christ, as they had been called, was founded nearly 200 years prior in 1118 in Jerusalem. However, as they became a strong and influential organization, the French king began to fear them. Not wanting his power to be put to the test, the king hatched a plan to rid himself of the Templars.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go take what you want? You set up for a second time.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
Going for the cover.
Got it. What a match and what a great team.
Here are your winners.
Actually, what we'll do,
Symbolic metaphors. Dragons are used in the Bible to describe
we'll have a look at Faction Wars.
Wherever you look in the Bible, dragons are described as the enemy of God. In the Old Testament, the dragon is a primal nemesis of God. It rises up against him only to be destroyed. The dragon then returns in the book of Revelation at the very end of days, once more facing off against the Creator. In the end, the dragon is defeated and cast down into darkness. The most traditional description of a dragon can be found in the book of Job.
Alright, so the new ones are probably going to be about 4,000, maybe 5.
Fire and smoke oozes from out its nostrils like steam rising off of a boiling pot. Job also says the immense strength of its neck strikes terror everywhere it goes, and that it has such hard and firm flesh that no worldly weapon can penetrate.
Give me a sec, guys. Sorry guys, just trying to work out stuff for my mum. Yeah. No new bosses. They may or may not drop tomorrow. Cards are definitely dropping tomorrow or the day after. Yeah, might as well.
That he corrupts humanity as the creator of sin. His name can be found all throughout the forbidden texts of the Bible, scripture that was never included into any official biblical renditions. His name only shows up officially in Leviticus 16. There's a single passage which says, Aaron shall cast lots over 2 goats, one for the Lord and the other for Azazel. The goat presented to the Lord is an offering, while the goat for Azazel will be bestowed with the sin of man and sent into the wilderness. Traditionally, this seems to present Azazel as a scapegoat for humanity's sins. Where this rebellious angel gets really interesting is in the Apocrypha, the books of the Bible that were never included in the official canon. In the book of Enoch, Azazel leads the civilizations of men and Nephilim in war and witchcraft before God flooded the earth. He is described as once being abused.
Tables, ladders, and chairs. Not much is off limits in this match.
Nice takedown, stack for the pin.
Gets there. Teammate makes the save. She's tossed right out of the ring.
Alright, I'm not doing really well at this one at all.
She fights back with the counter. Calculating the next move here. Scoop slam.
Reversal would be nice.
Searching for something beneath the ring.
She's got it sealed. The WWE knows what's to come.
Just sent crashing.
Guillotine applied. This one could end soon. This isn't even about gaining a victory at this point. It's about making sure your opponent can't leave the arena on their own accord.
Being carried around now.
And the agony has no reason to end as we see her tapping out in pain. Absolutely shattering the table. Incredible impact.
There are so many moving parts to the TLC match. What does a matchup like this come down to?
There's much chaos as there is in a TLC match. Preparation is so important. A superstar needs a strategy.
The greatest match of one with superior strategy. That's what... Guillotine applied. Up high. Fighting desperately. Able to shrug off her opponent. Umringer.
And this is going to cause so much agony, so much stress on the neck.
This is something that can put you to sleep in a hurry.
And she's tapping, but it doesn't even matter. It can't save her here.
And she wisely heads back to the ring.
Here are your winners, the team
From the 3rd century BC, there are two main passages. One says, I shall die with my nest, and I shall multiply my days as the phoenix. The other says, and like the phoenix, I shall have a long life. Clearly, the authors of the Old Testament believed at least in the existence of the phoenix. As you may already know, the phoenix is a legendary bird from many different mythologies. Legend has it that every 500 years, the phoenix dies in an eruption of flames and then is reborn from its very own ashes. In the 1st century AD, Clement of Rome, one of the first to support one of the Roman Catholic Church, used the phoenix in his epistle to the Corinthians as a symbol of the resurrection of Jesus. And in the Talmud, the phoenix was said to be the only animal which would not eat the forbidden fruit, and because of its obedience, God blessed the phoenix with immortality. The cockatrice. The cockatrice is a bizarre mythical animal that became exceptionally popular in the Middle Ages. It was a horrible creature that a lot of people really believed in. In mythology, the cockatrice is a hybrid between a serpent and a chicken. It was believed to resemble a type of serpent called a basilisk with 2 wings.
Superstars in their respective corners now for this tag team match. All set for action. We're starting off with Liv Morgan, Jade Cargill, Asuka, and Roxanne Perez. And across the ring, the team they're ready to face off with: Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, and Alexa Bliss.
These teams have scouted each other very well. They probably identified the weak link in their opposition. Likely going to want to isolate and punish that single individual.
Liv trying to rally the WWE Universe behind her.
Jumping complete shot. Can Liv put things away here? Boom. And a drop kick. Picture perfect.
Nice drop kick.
Liv with a leg cover. That might be it.
And that's it. Scores the win for the team.
Here are your winners, the team of
Would you rather have the head of an eagle and the body of a lion, or the head of a lion and the body of an eagle? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. Beelzebub. Beelzebub was transformed to Beelzebul by the Jews, which is made up of 2 different words, Baal and Zebul. Baal, which was the name of the Canaanite fertility god in the Old Testament, was also a heathen deity supposedly worshipped by a disturbed cult who sacrificed children in his honor. The second word that makes up this demon's name is Zebul, which means exalted dwelling. It's only when we put these 2 words together that they create Beelzebub, or Beelzebul, ruler of demons, lord of dung, and god of filth. Beelzebub has been around for a very long time, since at least the days of the Philistines. At the ancient site of Ekron, archaeologists found golden images of flies, along with the name of the demon. This has led to
And this is sure to be a hard-hitting tag team battle. We'll start this one off with Liv Morgan, Jade Cargill, and Asuka. And this is sure to be a barn burner of a tag match in this encounter with Alba Fire, Stacy Keibler, and Zelina Vega.
This match can very well come down to experience. And I'm not just talking about individual experience. I'm talking about the experience you have with your partner. Knowing how to be on the same page is going to be crucial.
religious texts to describe Satan. We see Beelzebub referenced
Jumping complete shot. Liv ending this fight right there. And a shoulders down. Is this it? Wow, got it. Big time tag team win.
Here are your winners, the team of
When the fifth trumpet is blown in Revelation, it begins what are known as the three world judgments. These are great plagues of sorrow and distress, horrible woes, far worse than all that happened in the years of tribulation beforehand, after the first four trumpets were blown. In the book of Revelation, the fifth trumpet sets a star descending from heaven to the earth. The star is in fact a fallen angel by the name of Apollyon, an unspeakable demon who has in his possession the key to the abyss. The abyss is also described as the bottomless pit, and Apollyon goes by another name, Abaddon, which translates to destroyer. When the fallen angel unlocks the abyss, that's when one of the most terrifying demonic creatures in the Bible comes to scour the world. From the abyss come a multitude of locusts. However, these aren't any ordinary locusts. They're terrifying demon locusts. They are said to have tails like scorpions and can sting people, and they were ordered by God to torment all the non-believers left alive on the planet. The locusts are instructed to torture humans, but told to leave the crops and the vegetation alone. Their only purpose is to cause immense pain and suffering and to make things
Tables, ladders, and chairs. TLC, one of the most iconic match types in all of WWE.
We've seen so many careers over the years defined in TLC matches, but with that sort of reward, there's also certainly a risk of your career being shortened.
What a quick answer.
In a TLC match, there's really no way to avoid getting a taste of either a T, L, or C. So, in my humble opinion, the best thing you can do is make sure you get the opposition back for every shot they get you with.
It's all about mutually assured destruction in a match like this.
Clearing off our desk. What could be the thought process here?
I don't think it's anything good.
I don't know if it's anything I can watch. These superstars are ready to take this fight wherever it wants to go, even right into the announcer's area.
A jumping complete shot. Face first. Liv could have this one. Guillotine applied. Not going to last long in this one.
Bayley has been compromised. Will she tap out?
Hang on, Bayley.
And look at her giving up. She's quitting, but it doesn't save her from the ball here.
Here are your winners, the team of
French word Magoth, used to describe an evil creature. Magoth may also have roots in the word magus, meaning wizard. Whatever the case, the book of sacred magic describes Magoth as a master of necromancy. He has powers of illusion, he can transform a person's appearance, and he's entirely evil. Magoth is just one example of how materials of the Bible became exaggerated in the centuries that followed its publication. Dozens of demons that never appeared in any original religious scripture became popular symbols and dark entities feared by Christians. The first and second beasts of Daniel. In the book of Daniel, he is given a vision of the end of days. His prophetic vision is
I'm gonna go this way just to see if I can get lucky.
empires of the 6th century BC. These empires are also seen by King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon.
Yeah, that's
in
always
his dream.
good.
Early on in the book, and later in Daniel 7, he describes the empires in the form of beasts. The vision comes to Daniel in a dream. It starts on a windy night, with Daniel looking out at a turbulent sea. The waves crash, and the foam sprays the night sky, suddenly 4 great beasts emerge from the dark waters. The first beast is a lion with the wings of an eagle. As Daniel looks on, the wings are ripped off the beast, and the creature stands on its hind legs like a man. Then a human heart is placed inside of the beast's chest. It's only later...
These teams have been waiting for that bell to ring all night, and here we go!
When you have this many superstars in action, you know it's about to be an arduous match for all involved. But the team that can ultimately weather the storm will be the one celebrating tonight. And she's sent right into that corner.
Jumping complete shot.
Face first. Ken Morgan clicks this one.
In a match with no disqualifications, you really want to lean it.
Looking to put the match away here.
Scores the win. What a great team.
Here are your winners, the team of Liv Morgan,
Alexander the Great and the division of his kingdom. Daniel then witnesses the final beast. This one is the most dreadful, the most frightening, and by far the most powerful. It has huge iron teeth, and Daniel has no living animal to compare it to. It's a horrible thing which devours its victims and tramples all that's left on the ground beneath its huge feet. It's an annihilator of prey, a great amalgamation of all the beasts of the world with 10 horns rearing out of its ugly head. This final beast is a representation of the Roman Empire, what would have been the mightiest empire known to Daniel in the days his book was written, the Dead Sea Tablet. There is a curious tablet with 87 lines of Hebrew text inscribed on it, which could disprove the entire story of Jesus Christ.
So, typical casket match.
0.9 meters tall and was purchased by a collector of artifacts named David Jessup.
The bell is tolled, and this match is now official. This is a casket match. The only way to win is to get your opponent into that casket and slam the lid shut on him.
A grim task that is much easier said than done. It's going to take a ton of determination and brutal offense to wear your opponent down to the point where you can seal them inside that casket.
Do you have to make it sound so spooky? Propped up in the corner.
And now she's making it to the top rope here.
From the top. Opening senton.
Since it made national news in 2008, nobody
Oh my God, what a kick. Candice didn't look too comfortable there.
Morgan making that look almost effortless.
Boy, this match is so twisted, it can make a competitor motionless. What's the game plan for a contest like this?
If you have a sadistic side, this is the night to bring it. Be the first to dissect your opponent. Make sure that you are the only person physically capable of shutting the lid on the casket. Both knees into the face. Morgan popping off like a firecracker.
Oh, you sneaky little bit.
Oh, she manages to reverse it.
And Candice needed that badly.
LeRae could be turning her fortunes around.
Candice gets that set right back to her. Oh, and it's reversed. Oh no, into the casket.
Close the lid and it's over.
Desperately trying to force the casket closed. Not ready to put the lid on this one yet.
Apparently closing that casket is easier said than done.
Slides under the ropes. Back into the ring. Hurricane Rana.
Unbelievable athleticism.
Reversal from Morgan.
Jumping complete shot.
Face first. This has to be it. They're just dead weight right now.
What do you do with dead weight, Saxton? You put it in a casket.
Trying to close the load, this is going to be tough.
It's not over yet.
And mercifully, this one's over.
Rest in peace.
Here is your winner, Liv Morgan.
That was a bit sloppy, but we got there in the end.
It turns out it was written 7 centuries after Jesus died, which doesn't exactly vouch for its authenticity. Still, it's a major mystery that has yet to be solved.
Yeah, decision
The
time.
Shroud of Turin. The Shroud of Turin supposedly holds an imprint of Jesus Christ's face. The ancient piece of cloth is believed to be the real shroud that was buried with Jesus following the crucifixion. In ancient days, people would be buried in shrouds of thin linen, almost like being buried under a light blanket. It was the shroud placed over Jesus' face that somehow absorbed the exact features of the Messiah. Unlike a lot of holy artifacts, the Shroud of Turin is a real, tangible object. Nobody knows where it came from, but it appeared suddenly in
This could
France
bite
during
in
the
the ass, but we'll see what happens.
In 1578 AD, the shroud was transferred to the town of Turin, Italy, and it's been there ever since, kept in the royal chapel of the Turin Cathedral. In 1988, the shroud was tested by scientists. They used radiocarbon dating and established the shroud to be from the Middle Ages, from between the years 1260 and 1390. This itself should discredit the shroud as a medieval fake. However, it's still a
Teams are in their respective corners for this tag match. All set for action. We're starting off with Liv, but now Liv.
Jumping complete shot. Liv ending this fight right there.
And a drop kick.
Picture perfect.
Drop kick. Liv has the shoulders down. This could be it.
What a tag match we just saw.
Here are your winners, the team of Liv Morgan.
delving into faith and theology. And yes, most people believe he at least lived and died in the 1st century AD. One of the mysteries about the man is that nobody knows exactly what language he spoke. It may seem like a small thing, but it's a subject that's been highly debated for centuries. The mystery caught public attention in 2014 when Pope Francis got into an argument with the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. He claimed that Jesus spoke Hebrew, but the Pope said Jesus spoke Aramaic. Hebrew is the ancient language of the Judeans, while Aramaic was spoken by the Arameans starting around the 11th century BC. Very few communities in Iraq and Syria still speak it today. Which one was it? The truth is that Jesus was most likely multilingual. Many people living in Israel 2,000 years ago spoke multiple languages. If Jesus really did come from near the Sea of Galilee, like many believe, he would have spoken a regional dialect of Aramaic. This was the common language of Jewish people. However, Hebrew is the language of religious scholars and the language of Holy Scripture. The Bible was written in Hebrew, though the Old Testament was written in Aramaic, and then there was Greek, brought into the region by Alexander the Great. Based on this, it's highly likely that Jesus spoke at least 2 languages, maybe even a third. Jesus' house. A house recently excavated in Nazareth may very well be the childhood home of Jesus Christ. Archaeologist Ken Dark from the University of Reading has spent the last decade and a half...
Here we go with quite the tag team matchup in store. We'll start this one off with Liv Morgan, Jade Cargill, Asuka, and Roxanne Perez. And they'll have their work cooperating cut out for them here, dealing with Charlotte, Trish Stratus, Bianca Belair, and Becky Lynch.
Hard to decide what team has the advantage here. It'll probably come down to who can cut the ring in half the best, who can control the pace.
Whoa, Charlotte waylays her.
These two reaching a standstill with all these reversals. Oh, I think the ring just moved. Accurate roundhouse. Jumping complete shot. Can Liv put things away here?
A showcase of skill from Liv Morgan.
Yeah, Liv's found a way to outsmart the man. Shoulders down. She might have it.
And it's over. Big tag team win there.
Here are your winners, the team of
Jesus' childhood home, but it's definitely the nearest we've come to finding it. It's shout-out time. We'd like to give a huge thank you to Neela Curo and DeadFox89NA for watching and supporting this channel. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and join the family, the bloodline of Jesus. Jesus Christ's bloodline may just live on to this very day. If Mary Magdalene really was his wife, like so many believe, chances are they had children. Their first child was supposedly a girl named Sarah, who would later become known as Sarah Tavares, Bat Yeshua, Princess of West Franks. Then they had a son named Joseph, who became the Bishop of Saras. Another theory is that after Jesus Christ was killed in the crucifixion and Mary Magdalene fled Israel with his unborn child in her belly, she supposedly settled in France, gave birth to Jesus' child, and that child became a member of Frankish nobility. And from there on, the bloodline continued. This is all based on hearsay, lost gospels, forbidden books of the Bible, and speculation. There's another theory that says Jesus had a brother, and that his brother was the one crucified while Jesus fled to Japan. And there Jesus married a local woman, had children, and then died at the age of 100.
A big-time ladder match getting started here, guys. All eyes set on the prize hanging 20 feet above the ring.
This is always a thrilling match. Always a moment for a superstar to capture the spotlight. Roundhouse kick.
Liv just looking to humiliate her opponent. Timing is everything in a ladder match, gentlemen. When to climb the ladder, when to prevent someone else from doing the same thing.
Yeah, time can make the difference between winning it all and having it all snatched from you when your fingertips away from victory.
She gets bounced into the corner.
Knee lift in the corner rocks the jaw.
Liv is heading up top.
From the top, splash.
Inconsistencies throughout the Gospels suggest that Jesus walking on water was not an event.
She's taking things back into the ring.
Possibly even.
It retaliates with a counter.
Clothesline stops that move in its tracks.
Stepping out of the ring here.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'll let you grab that.
Sliding in under the rope. She's back in the ring.
She's out of it, guys. Strong kick to the body. Down goes their opponent. And this is the sort of ruthlessness it takes.
Look at this. Stratton is now under pressure.
Now we have to see how tough Tiffany truly can be.
She's setting the ladder up dead center.
All eyes are on the prize now. That's how you claim the spotlight for yourself. Reaching.
So close to victory. The prize is within reach. Looking for the victory here, guys.
Grabs it. And the ladder match is over.
Here is your winner, Liv.
12 disciples, they healed the blind and were crucified, and both of them came back to life 3 days after their death. However, not all of this may be true. The ancient Egyptian tale of Horus is 5,000 years old, and it's been seriously distorted throughout the centuries. One version of the story is crucified, buried for 3 days, and then resurrected. But in many myths, Horus never died. He was instead reborn every day with the sunrise. The truth is that many historians agree the historical information about Jesus was mixed with legendary details when the Gospels were written. The authors of the Gospels likely didn't rip off any particular legend, but they added bits and pieces to make their stories more interesting. For example, they almost certainly copied the Greek story of Asclepius, the god of healing and medicine, when retelling Jesus' healing miracles. Jesus from space. In 1954, a man named George King claimed that he received telepathic communication from the...
Two stacked multi-superstar teams set for action in this tag contest.
You have to wonder if some of these alliances are tenuous at best. It's rare to get two superstars on the same page. Add any more to the equation, and it's basically a miracle.
It goes without saying that there is a certain disdain for your opponent when you pull off something like that.
Being set up in the corner for something. Knee lift in the corner rocks the jaw. Jumping complete shot. Can Liv put things away here?
Oh, bitch.
In a no disqualification match, you never want to be the superstar on the wrong end of a chair or a kendo stick, or whatever else might be happening.
Live with the light cover. That might be it.
Got it. What a match, and what a great team.
Here are your winners, the team of
The most common image of Jesus Christ is a blonde man with pale skin and blue eyes. And yet, if we are looking at it from a historical standpoint, Jesus was undoubtedly dark-skinned with brown hair and brown eyes. He would have been closer to being black than he was white. The Bible offers very few clues about what Christ looked like physically. We know he was born in Bethlehem, raised in Nazareth, and that he lived in the 1st century AD, but the Bible tells us nothing else about what he looked like. However, in the Gospel of Matthew, when Jesus Christ was arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane, Judas Iscariot makes the distinction that Jesus and his disciples all look very similar. This means Jesus looked just like other people who were born in Israel 2,000 years ago. Assistant Professor Robert Cargill from the University of Iowa says Jesus Christ was a Palestinian Jewish man. That means he wasn't pale-skinned, and he didn't have blonde hair. Most likely his hair...
Teams are assembled in their corners. What's going to be the key in this one?
Well, teamwork makes the dream work. Mark my words, there's no room for selfishness in this environment.
Oh,
Watch
she
your
got up
teammates
quick.
back, and they'll watch yours.
Acrobatics like that take a tremendous amount of cardio and strength.
She might want to turn her attention back to the match at hand. Oh, man, what a kick.
Set hard into the corner.
Might be going high risk here.
From the top. Splash. The jumping complete shot.
Face first. Terrible position for Meacham.
Love it or hate it, there's a certain toughness that it brought out. And Meacham's shoulders are down.
Wow, got it. Big time tag team win.
Here are your winners, the team of
knowledge they weren't meant to share. It was such a debacle that the world soon evolved into chaos and sin. God was so disappointed that he cast the angels into oblivion and drowned the Nephilim in the Great Flood. There are other chapters that go on to discuss the ancient history of Israel and the revolt of the Maccabees. It even delves into the idea of final judgment. The Book of Enoch was removed from all Jewish scripture in 90 AD, meaning it hasn't been an official biblical story for almost 2,000 years. Judith. Judith is one of the more imaginative books that was axed from the Bible. Most scholars agree the book is highly fictionalized, likely written by someone with a flair for drama. The Book of Judith is all about an invasion of Israel. The Assyrians, led by a man named Xerxes, besieged the town of Bethulia. In this town lives a widow by the name of Judith. She's frustrated by the lack of faith in God shown by her fellow townsfolk and the leaders of the city, and so she comes up with her own plan to destroy the invaders. Because Because her countrymen don't have enough faith in God, Judith plans to murder Holofernes, her
Tag team matchup where a team's cohesion is put to the ultimate test. We'll start this one off. Now we have Liv Morgan.
The jumping complete shot. Face first. The lights are dimming for Trish.
Okay, now she's rubbing salt in the wound.
When you're in a no disqualification match, it's essential that you unleash your inner brutality. This is no time to hold back and act like the rules still matter.
It's the truth. This is a match condition you have to lean into, or you are in for a world of hurt.
From the top, splash!
Well scouted by Stratus. Now propped up in the corner. Knee left right to the face.
Kick to the face.
Stratus needs to figure this out.
Trish looks to have been well scouted. What a nasty knee lift.
Oh, double knee face buster.
Jumping complete shot. Liv ending this fight right there. Holly just begging for a fight.
And a drop kick. Picture perfect. Ow. Liv with the light cover. That might be it.
Comes out on top in this tag team match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jade Cargill, Asuka, and Roxanne Perez.
Cementing their name after that match.
Definitely earning those accolades with that win.
It's an official passage of the Bible. However, many other denominations of Christianity don't see it that way. The passage itself contains three major components. The first part is a prayer uttered by Daniel's friend Abednego. In the book of Daniel, there's a story about the three Hebrew men thrown into a fiery furnace by the king of Babylon. After they refused to bow to the king's image, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were all thrown into a furnace to be cooked alive. The song of the three...
Alright, so I'm gonna say like
One of those men praying
4K, we're good to get them tomorrow, so back on the grind.
when the men realize they're being saved by
Oh,
God,
what I will show you before we
this
start.
praise is the third and final part of the passage. In the end, the song of the three holy children isn't all that outrageous or controversial.
I'm
Because
like
the origin of the writing is unknown and obscure, the whole thing
29
was
cards away from Jay,
Protestants
so
strongly reject the text, while the Church of England lists it as apocryphal.
yeah.
To Ezra.
Couple of good grinding badges, so
The English version of the Bible
see how he runs
is to
once
Ezra.
we get
It's an
him, so
apocalyptic story supposedly written by a priest named Ezra in the 5th century BC. However, scholars truthfully don't know when exactly the document was written, but they think it may have been written by an unknown scholar in the decades after Jesus died in the 1st century AD. Those who consider this book a forbidden text or apocrypha are the Roman Catholics, Eastern Orthodox Christians, and the Protestants. 2 Ezra was excluded from the Old Testament by Jerome of Sidon, or Saint Jerome, in the 4th century AD. Ever since, it's appeared here and there in certain...
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
This looks like the setup, too.
And looking at Jacob on two. And just got caught with that DDT.
Jacob about to end this fight.
There's two.
Got it. There's the winners of the tag match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
Discussions with the Archangel Uriel. In his final 3 visions, he sees an eagle with 3 heads and 20 wings, and that eagle is attacked by a lion and then burns. The eagle is likely meant to be a representation of the Babylonian kingdom being defeated by the Jewish kingdom. Then Ezra sees the Messiah breathe fire like a dragon on a crowd of non-believers, a representation of the unfaithful being obliterated at the end of days. Do you believe that giants once roamed the earth? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button. The Wisdom of Solomon. The Wisdom of Solomon wasn't allegedly written by the mighty King Solomon himself. The early church wasn't a big believer in that theory.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go, he has a hold of JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Lights out, DDT connects. This spells trouble for McDonough. 2.
Scores the win. What a great team.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Rey Mysterio, and Wade Barrett.
Referred to in the book of Hebrews. For Christians in the early church, these contradictions would have been unthinkable. But things get even more scandalous still. Salvation is an act of wisdom. This is in direct violation of Scripture, which clearly states salvation is a gift from God, granted only by faith. In other words, the Bible teaches that a man cannot depend on wisdom, must only depend on God. On the other hand, the wisdom of Solomon seems to suggest that a man can rely much more on his own wisdom and doesn't necessarily need God to be saved. Susanna.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you...
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here? DDT! Is that all she wrote for McDonough? Cover! 2! And they score the win. What a tag match.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
2,000 years ago. But despite the book not being overly fanciful and having a moral lesson about not abusing others, it was removed from the Bible. Again, this is likely because the story centered on a strong and willful woman, something we all know the church has never been fond of. The Book of Tobit. The Book of Tobit was likely written in the 2nd century.
I think if we can hit 200k today, we're doing fairly well, but not overly concerned if we don't.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron. Jacob's planning something here. And looking at Jacob, too.
Implanted by the DDT. Is that all she wrote for McDonough? Got it. What a tag match we just saw.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
Tobias and Sarah got married. They then returned to Nineveh, and Tobit was cured of his blindness. The moral of the story is that one should maintain their faith in God. It's all about how God tests the faithful and protects family values. It also shows how God responds to prayers. All the same, the Protestants consider the book apocrypha. It's widely recognized as an exciting work of fiction, but it isn't religious scripture. The rest of Esther. The Book of Esther is an official...
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn?
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here? What a DDT! Jacob about to end this fight. 2! And it's over! Big tag team win there.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
His writing style was enough to get the additional passages cut from all official Hebrew scriptures. The additional text changes the whole tone of the book from what was originally meant to be in the Hebrew Bible. Instead of Esther being a mighty Jewish woman who saves her people, the Jewish people are spared destruction only because of their godliness. It's one of the few books that was cut from the Bible for being more religious than the original. The prayer of Manasseh.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar.
What's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu, and having some brutal impact on that DDT.
This spells trouble for McDonough.
Big time win in this tag team match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
Shining city of Babylon. Only then, when all hope seemed lost, did he pray to God for mercy. The moral of the story is supposed to be that even though Manasseh was wicked and idolatrous, he prayed and repented before his death, and that was all God really wanted. And while that may seem like a good moral, prayer goes a little off base with other Christian teachings. It goes on to say that the likes of Abraham, Jacob, and Isaac should never have repented because they didn't technically sin, because this is directly opposite of the church's teaching.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron.
He has a hold of JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
And right into the cover.
Might end this. Big time win in this tag team match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Rey Mysterio, and Wade Barrett.
Since humans first sailed beyond the sight of land, sometimes the sea doesn't kill, it takes. Ships found adrift, completely intact and completely empty. Meals half eaten on tables, navigation equipment still working, logs that stopped mid-sentence, no signs of struggle, no evidence of evacuation. The people are just gone.
Like, Jay's got some
Ships disappear,
okay grinding badges. Seth, however,
in strange places.
not really that good on the grinding badges, but for online and ranked play, yeah, if you come up against someone who's got Seth, he's gonna cause you problems. So you can bet I am, well, I'm gunning for all cards, but
What do you need? I'm kind of in the middle of something
gunning
here.
for Seth for sure.
My wife's blouse?
No, you chive turkey. It's part of my new disco fashion line, Studio 54. We sell tank tops. Yeah, you know, tops with fish tags.
With sequins?
Well, fish are all about boogie nights and glitter lights. These things are flying off the shelves ever since Dirty's TikTok video went viral.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
Yeah, Judgment Day. And look at this. And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Is that all she wrote for McDonough?
Beautiful transition.
And now the cover.
Oh, breaking up the pin. He could get dropped here.
He's covering him. He's got him. Got it. There's the winners of the tag match.
Here are your winners, the team of
I sure did. Shopify is the ultimate tool for starting, running, and growing a business. Whether you're selling online, in person, or across social media, Shopify has everything you need to succeed. Simply design your store, track sales in real time, and use powerful marketing tools to grow your audience. And with Shopify Magic, AI tools help you write better product descriptions, improve images, and elevate email campaigns.
Yeah, but what if someone has a secret emergency? How are they supposed to get up?
Fast, seamless communication keeps customers happy.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron. Judgment Day has made a pretty successful career out of bending the rules and using any advantage they can.
Oh, here it comes!
And looking at Jacob Fatu and planted them with a well-executed DDT.
Is that all she wrote? The Madonna! Got it! What a match and what a great team!
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
I told you that I'm not the lyrics to that song.
You know how, shall we?
It was December 4th, 1860.
We're just cruising along, doing our thing.
He was halfway between the Azores and Portugal when he spotted a vessel acting.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your... He has all the JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Is that all she wrote? The Madonna! 2! And it's over! Big tag team win there!
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
Morehouse saw there was nobody on deck. This was a 100
We're doing it. It's all good.
A 250-ton cargo ship. This is the middle of the day. There should be at least 6 or 7 men working, but there wasn't a soul in sight. The ship's name was painted on her hull, Mary Celeste, an American vessel that left New York weeks earlier. Morehouse recognized the name. He knew her captain, Benjamin Briggs, a respected sailor with 16 years' experience. Briggs was competent and reliable. None of this made sense.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when he has all the JD?
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Absolutely spiked DDT!
2 count.
And they score the win! What a tag match!
There was a nagging voice in the back of his mind.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
Permission granted.
So, hang on. You're saying the mate was a mighty sailing man, the skipper brave and sure?
You did it again.
You what? I'm trying to break the tension.
I'm trying to create tension.
Oh.
The board.
We seem to be at an impasse.
The boarding party found the ship in good condition. Captain Briggs's belongings were in his cabin undisturbed. His papers were in order. His pipe was by his chair. His pocket watch was there, still ticking.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron.
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here?
DDT! Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
Follows up, shoulders down.
And that's it. Scores a win for the team.
The galley showed signs of...
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
There's plenty of food and water aboard, still fresh. In the hold, they counted over 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol. That ruled out pirates. They wouldn't have left the alcohol.
But why is the rum gone?
That cargo was worth more than the ship itself.
Booty.
Right. Pirates wouldn't have left anything but a mess. But there was no sign of a struggle or people scrambling to escape. Pirates didn't do this. A single lifeboat was missing, as if Briggs just calmly left. That didn't make sense.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
Yeah, Judgment Day won't rest until there's nobody left to oppose them, until they have complete...
Once more, setting it up!
DDT delivered.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
There's two.
Scores the win. What a great team.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Butler.
But mention nothing unusual. No storms, no illness, no distress. Just routine observations followed by nothing. Eerie silence. 10 souls had vanished without explanation. Captain Benjamin Briggs, his wife Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and 7 experienced crewmen, all gone without a trace. This story repeats over and over again. January 31st, 1921, C.P. Brady was on lookout duty for the Coast Guard at Cape Hatteras.
Wait, who had her ass?
Cape Hatteras in North Carolina.
That makes more sense.
Brady saw a large ship that ran aground on Diamond Shoals. The 5-masted schooner sat on the sandbar, its sails still up. It was the Carroll A. Deering, a commercial ship, nearly 260 feet long, built in 1919, practically new. A rescue team boarded the Deering, and like the Mary Celeste, it was completely abandoned. But the crew's personal belongings and navigational equipment were missing. The ship's logs and papers...
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go take what you want?
You know, setting up begins.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Boom! DDT! This spells trouble for McDonough.
Is it enough? Is this the end?
Wow, got it. Big time tag team win.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
Message while navigating the Strait of Malacca. The radio crackled, all officers, including captain, are dead. Lying in chart room and bridge. Possibly whole crew dead. Send doctor. Urgent. And then a long pause. Then the message ended with 2 words. I die. The transmission came from the Dutch freighter Orang Medan. The Silver Star changed course toward the coordinates. As they approached, Captain Morrison spotted the Orang Medan drifting aimlessly. No smoke from the stacks. No movement on deck. Through his binoculars, he saw a figure slumped over the radio room window, not moving. Morrison called through his megaphone. No response.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go, are we about to see it?
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
We're good. About to end this fight.
Cover. We have a cover.
There's 2.
Comes out on top in this tag team match.
Here are your winners, the team of.
Their eyes were wide open, all staring at something. Their mouths were frozen in silent screams. Their faces twisted into expressions of absolute terror. Morrison's first officer, Tom Becker, was a World War II Navy combat vet. He'd seen death before. He'd seen it up close, but nothing like this. They slowly entered the bridge. The captain of the Orang Medan still sat in his chair, eyes bulging, face contorted in an unnatural scream.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Jacob's planning something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Spotlight. This spells trouble for McDonough for the win. 2.
And that's it. Scores the win for the team.
In the cargo hold,
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Butler.
to read the labels. Then there was a sudden creak from inside the hold. The men froze. The creak turned into a groan, the sound of metal bending. Then came the smell, sharp and bitter. Chemicals. The air burned their lungs. Morrison choked out the order to fall back. The men scrambled to the deck, gasping. Morrison called for tow cables. They had to get the ship to port for investigation. Well, as the boarding party worked, they noticed black smoke seeping from below decks.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron. Oh, here we go. And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! This spells trouble for McDonough.
Looking for the victory. 2.
And they score the win. What a tag match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
I missed them before times.
So we have ghost ships where the entire crew vanishes, and ghost ships where the entire crew is dead. But there's another type of ghost ships even more mysterious. The ghost ships that travel through time.
And yeah, as you guys know, I'm not rushing these, I'm just cruising along.
Completely vanish. When they disappear, they fully disappear. They fall off radar. Searchers find
But
nothing.
in case you're wondering, if you do rush, you can make close to 30k.
Wherever they go, in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
I think the crowd knows what we're about to see.
Down by the DDT.
Is that all she wrote for McDonough? Comes out on top in this tag team match.
Against the current. The last confirmed sighting.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Rey Mysterio, and Wade Barrett.
In 1881, Captain Griffin of the schooner Ellen Austin spotted a ship sailing erratically while crossing the Atlantic. It was completely deserted, but in perfect condition. Personal belongings were all in place, and plenty of food was aboard. Seeing an opportunity to claim salvage, Griffin put some of his own crew aboard the empty ship and set course for New York.
Uh-oh. Captain beamed down the red ships.
Well, the two ships got separated in a storm. A few days later, Captain Griffin found the ship.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron.
Time to end this.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Jacob about to end this fight.
2.
Got it. There's the winners of the tag match.
This mission disappeared in 1968.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
Hours away. They never arrived. Days passed. The Spanish authorities launched a massive search operation. Air and sea units scoured the area. The ship was gone. A few days later, a British ship found the Fausto adrift. All 4 men were alive, but exhausted. Their families celebrated. They were coming home. Except they refused to be rescued. They insisted there was nothing wrong with their ship. They accepted some food and water and said they were heading home. They never made it.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn? Here it comes!
And looking at Jacob Fatu. Connecting on the DDT.
This spells trouble for McDonough.
2.
Got it. What a match and what a great team.
It was Julio Garcia, one of the original.
Here are your winners,
Besides
the team of Jacob.
torn out except one. It was a message to his wife. Don't ever tell our son what happened to me. You know God wanted this fate for me. Love you. The Italians tried to tow the Fausto to Venezuela. 2 days later, the tow line snapped. The boat suddenly sank. Nobody knows why. And nobody knows who tore out the pages in the notebook or what they said. Nobody knows why the crew refused to be rescued or what happened to them. All we have is a corpse and a cryptic note. The rest of the evidence is now at the bottom.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go take what you want? If you don't like it, then stay out of their way.
Staying out of Judgment Day's
going for the home run.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT. Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it? Cashing in on that effort. 2.
Got it. What a tag match we just saw.
Here are your winners, the team up.
The computer was still on. The table was set for a meal with food and drinks. The GPS and emergency equipment were untouched. The 3-man crew had vanished. Their life jackets were still stowed away. November 2008, the 4,000-ton Taiwanese fishing vessel Tai Ching 21 vanished off the coast of Kiribati in the Pacific. The weather was perfect. No distress signal was sent. The ship with 29...
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron.
This can't bode well.
And looking at Jacob Fatu, brought down with a DDT.
This spells trouble for McDonough. 2 count.
Wow, got it. Big time tag team win.
Here are your winners, the team up, Jacob Fatu.
Atlantic to the Pacific. But not all ghost ships are found in the ocean. Some are found where water doesn't even exist. Not all ghost ships are found in the ocean. In 1870, the San Bernardino Guardian reported a ship discovered deep in the Mojave Desert. A Spanish galleon, at least 250 feet long, completely intact. The desert winds had stripped away most of the rigging, but the wood was still there.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go...
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here?
DDT plants them.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
And right away into the pin. There's 2.
Big time win in this tag team match.
Here are your winners, the team up, Jacob Fatu.
Loaded with gold and black pearls, miles from any ocean. Charlie gathered supplies and headed into the harsh Mojave Desert to find the treasure ship. It was 125 degrees during the day. It was freezing at night. Water was scarce. Snakes and scorpions could be waiting under any rock, behind any cactus. Charlie didn't care. He needed 3 trips to...
We're just going to cruise along and see. Here we go.
From thirst, he spotted it through his telescope. The mast of a massive galleon.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly. What's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu, and that was some vicious DDT we just saw.
This spells trouble for McDonough. 2.
And it's over. Big tag team win there.
Here are your winners, the team up, Jacob.
Like I said, ideally 200 would be, well, 230 would be perfect, but I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to cruise and enjoy it.
With her husband days later, but there had been an earthquake. The sand shifted. The ship was gone, buried again. The ship in the Mojave is always described the same way. Always just barely visible, always loaded with treasure, always vanishing when people return with proper equipment. But the location...
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good.
We're about to see!
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
With a DDT! Is that all she wrote for McDonough? And that's it! Scores the win for the team!
Treasure, that legend will never go away.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
Because I think we're still like a week away from new packs. So.
These mysteries go back hundreds of years, and the mysteries will continue. We still know very little about the ocean.
Yeah, the ocean is a dangerous place for seamen.
It is,
Yeah,
but...
sometimes they get swallowed.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes seamen get spit back out.
That's enough.
Well, why? I'm talking about seamen in the ocean.
My goal is to have enough for at least 2 20 packs.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, in pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way. He has all the JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu. Connecting on the DDT.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
There's 2.
Wow, got it. Big time tag team win.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
So he ordered everyone into the lifeboat. The plan was to follow the ship from a safe distance using a line. The line broke. A storm hit. The lifeboat gets destroyed, and all 10 people are lost at sea. This is the most likely theory, but it remains a mystery because not a single trace of evidence has ever been found. The orangutan is different. Many historians doubt it existed. No official records confirm this Dutch freighter. But there is a rumor that the ship was carrying chemicals used in warfare.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go take what you want? If you don't like it, then stay out of the way.
Staying out of Judgment Day's business might be easier said than done. They're always...
Oh, could this be it?
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT!
Is that all she wrote for McDonough?
2!
Comes out on top in this tag team match.
Here are your winners, the team of.
And if it was pirates, why leave the cargo? If it was weather, why no distress call? Despite extensive investigations by the U.S. Navy, FBI, and State Department, no trace of the captain, officers, or crew was ever found. This is still one of the most famous maritime disappearances in American history. The El Fausto disappearances are true. The most logical theory is that they were drug traffickers or involved in something illegal. This explains their strange behavior and refusal to be rescued.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron.
Uh-oh, we know what's next.
Lights off. DDT connects.
Is that all she wrote for McDonough? 2! And they score the win. What a tag match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T,
The Salton Basin has changed dramatically over centuries. It was once Lake Kauai, an ancient inland sea about 6 times larger than the current Salton Sea. Water levels rose and fell with seasonal flooding and drought. The Colorado River sometimes filled the basin to capacity, other times it was blown dry. In the early 1600s, Spanish explorer Juan de Iturbe led an expedition.
We're just taking it nice and easy and just chilling.
His ship, loaded with treasure, ventured too far up the Colorado.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn?
What's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu. And that was a hell of a DDT there.
Jacob about to end this fight.
2 count.
And it's over. Big tag team win there.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Rey Mysterio, and Wade Barrett.
Explanation. Video evidence showed a CAS 2 crew member falling overboard while others tried to help. The Haiyang 6 engineer killed the captain and fled. The Taiching 21 probably encountered pirates who removed all evidence of their attack. What makes these stories compelling isn't just mystery. It's what they reveal about our relationship with the sea. Despite our technology and understanding, the ocean is still vast, unpredictable, and sometimes deadly. The sea has claimed thousands of vessels throughout history.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here? Jacob about to end this fight. There it is.
Now the pin.
Scores a win. What a great team.
Maybe that's why those ship stories endure.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
The stories remind us we're not masters of the earth. We're just temporary visitors. Just a small part of something much bigger. Something we're not meant to understand. And if we venture too far, the universe is there to put us right back in our place. Thank you so much for hanging out today. My name is AJ.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron.
What's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu, and a heck of a DDT we just witnessed.
Jacob about to end this fight. Two. Got it. What a match and what a great team.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
Sorry, but we're going to be doing those about twice a week. Also posting deep dives into the stories that we've covered on the channel, and we'll also post episodes that wouldn't be allowed on the channel. So if you're into podcasts, it's called the Y-Files Operation Podcast, and it's available everywhere. If you need more Y-Files in your life,
welcome, fellow seekers of the strange and unexplained. I honestly should change the name of the channel to Origins Unexplained. Today, prepare to have your perception of history shattered as we dive headfirst into 10 mysteries from the past that are so mysterious.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can... Jacob's playing something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT delivered.
This spells trouble for McDonough.
Two. Got it. What a tag match we just saw.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
Reaching towards the sky. It's a sight that makes you wonder if some mischievous giant decided to play a game with the landscape. This region is deeply connected to Berber culture, which was very inspired by the dramatic landscape. These striking formations, nestled within the Atlas Mountains, are a testament to nature's artistic flair, sculpted by millennia of wind and water. The Dade Gorge itself is a geological masterpiece, a deep canyon carved by the river, revealing layers of sedimentary rock like a history book.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just... Jacob's playing something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Down by the DDT. This spells trouble for McDonough. Two.
Got it. There's the winners of the tag match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
Floor paints a grim picture. These rock formations are said to be famished travelers turned to stone by hunger. Imagine a whole valley frozen in a moment of despair. As you wander through the gorge, the air thickens with an almost tangible sense of mystery. Even the wind in the valley has its own local legend. It is said that the wind has a son living in the town of Beaumont Dade, so every winter he rushes down the valley to visit him. The Berbers, along with the Greeks, also believed in a giant named Antaeus. He was said to be the son of Gaia, Earth, and Poseidon, the sea. His strength was tied to the earth. Whenever he touched it, he would regain his power. He fought many battles, but was finally defeated by Hercules, who was so strong he lifted him off the ground, breaking his connection to his source of power. According to Plutarch,
the Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron. Judgment Day has made a pretty successful career out of bending the rules and using any advantage they can find in the ring.
And guys, it's so great to be back here in Minneapolis.
Another big move!
And looking at Jacob Fatu and just cracking him with a DDT there.
Jacob about to end this fight.
2 count.
Scores the win. What a great team.
No anesthesia, no sterilization.
Hey guys, I'm Rob. Welcome back.
The team up, Jacob Fatu, Booker T,
Online match. It's currently a table match with the women's division. I don't know why it's a table match. I don't feel like doing a table match. So what I'm going to do is I'm doing a quick play. And I can use my men's division here. I just got a WrestleMania Jey Uso. I really want to use him. He's got some great badges, guys. One of my favorite badges in the game. Always see it coming. Game special when you reverse an opponent's attack. He's got a level 3 on that. And then he's got a level 2 pain train sting like it'd be level 1 quick climber. He's got comeback as a payback.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, in pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar.
And here we go. And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT. Is that all she wrote for McDonough?
And he's still in the game.
I'm pretty sure everyone in the building thought that was going to be the end of it, myself included.
Just dished out his most devastating offense, and you got to be wary if he's thinking one more time will be the charm.
It looks like he could get it done here.
And they score the win. What a tag match.
Made me kind of think like, hey, maybe I'm putting too many hours into my YouTube channel. So I took a step back. I found an awesome job. At this job, I do live stream. I live stream. It has to do with sports cards. I live stream from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. So imagine live streaming for 10 hours, 8 to 6. I get home at 6:30, and then sitting down and live streaming more or making a video. That would be a bit much because when I get home, I am super tired. You know what I'm saying? Now, my off days are Wednesday and Thursday. I try and do content on those days, but sometimes I like going in on my off days because, well, I like making money, one, but two, we were doing really good on TikTok.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your... He has a hold of JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Implanted by the DDT. Is that all she wrote for McDonough? And that's it. Scores the win for the team.
And I got to make sure to get my sleep. But with all that being said, guys, I'm not going to do it now. Am I going to live stream? Absolutely not. I just simply don't have the time. But when I can, when I get a chance, absolutely, I want to make a video. I want to live stream. I want to talk to you guys. I love wrestling. I love video games. I love the community we have made here. So I'm not going anywhere. It's just as far as every day goes, that ain't happening anymore. But I'm going to show up when I can. I'm kind of like Roman Reigns at this point. All right. We got to make it happen, man. We got to make it happen. We are facing off against the new persona of Seth Rollins.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn? Jacob's planning something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
Quickly transition. Shoulders are down.
Wow, got it. Big time tag team win.
You know what's making it a little interesting? If I win this match, you know what I'm going to do?
The team up, Jacob Fatu.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open up a pack. I'm going to open up a freaking WrestleMania pack. How about that? Dude, are you kidding me? Oh, we got him again. Come on. All right, let's do it. Bam! Yo, we got to stun him. We got to stun him. Come on. One more. We got him stunned. Let's go, baby. Look at this. Bam. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh! Ooh, so...
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar. He has a hold of JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Boom! DDT!
Jacob about to end this fight.
There's two.
Big time win in this tag team match.
I was not ready for that. Come on, dude. I want this pack.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
Okay, I gotta chill. I think I gotta chill. I want to do an instant.
Way to avoid that.
There it is. Oh, there. Yeah, baby. There it is. Oh, that will do. That will do. Here we go, Jay. All right, now we beat him up. And now we beat him up a little more. Spear! Oh, yeah! Oh, that was sick. Dude, that was sick. Super kick.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
He has a hold of JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu, brought down with a DDT.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
Only two.
He's taking some serious hurt, but somehow he's still in this.
I think he managed that kick out on pure instinct alone.
And it may just take going to the well one more time with that maneuver to gain the pinfall.
Samoan drop. Going right into the penitent.
Comes out on top in this tag team match.
And he is down. We're going up top with a chat. We're going up top with a chat.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
He kicked out at one. Holy. How did he kick out at one? Wait a minute. How did he kick out at one? Oh, he tried it, huh? That's a damn shame. I feel bad. That's a damn shame. Bam! Dude, he is killing it. I love this Jey Uso card. They'll always see it coming. It's so overpowering. Ooh! Here's the thing, though. Oh. No, I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. I'm sorry.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn? Jacob's planning something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT. Wow. Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
There's the winners of the tag match.
How does he keep doing it? Spear! All right, that's got to be it.
Here are your winners.
We hit another...
The team of Jacob Fatu.
Bam! There we go, Jey Uso. Yeet. A little yeet, come on. And as promised, guys, I said, hey, let's make it a little more interesting. If I win the match, I will open up a WrestleMania pack. I'm going to go ahead and open up 3. Because I am the pack entertainer, I am the influencer, and I am Mr. Two-Time, and I am ready to open up some packs, baby. Here we go. It's crazy because I was telling you guys about my job. I am literally a pack entertainer there. That's
the Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly. What's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu, and we can't overlook how devastating that DDT was. 2.
And it's over. Big tag team win there.
We get a oddity. They're only 1,000 That is nothing. That stinks. And so did those packs. I picked up 3 packs, didn't get either one. Let's take a look at the live events. Let's take a look at the live events. The one I am referring to, these right here. So it looks like I will not be getting the Chad Gable 2016. I will not be getting the Maxine. Unless I put on money for like a 20 bucks, but why the heck would I do that? I don't feel like doing that. Not right now anyways. But the John Cena live events, yes, they are done. Ended up not making videos on it, but if you are ever struggling, if there is no countouts, for this one, for example, you want to end up doing this is
the Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go, Jacob's playing something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it? 2.
Got it. What a tag match we just saw.
Except for this one, I just won by count out a couple times. It's
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
Alright guys, that is gonna be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to smash that thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up to put me over. Drop a comment below, subscribe if you are new, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Peace out.
No anesthesia, no sterilization, and a limited understanding of anatomy and physiology. At least that's what we thought. Picture this. Thousands of years ago, a warrior returns from a brutal battle with a cracked skull, likely from a...
The most extreme Jesuit spy in history is caught and imprisoned by the Soviets. Meanwhile, the Pope is a secret traitor, and Fish on Fridays was a scheme so crazy you might not believe it. The secret Jesuit spy. If you think your job is tough, imagine being a Jesuit priest in Soviet.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good. Jacob's playing something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT!
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
2.
Scores the win. What a great team.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
In 2012. Born in 1904 in Shenandoah, Pennsylvania, Zizek joined the Jesuits in 1928. After being ordained in 1937, Zizek was assigned to Poland. Then, when World War II broke out in 1939, he saw his chance to convert the Soviets. He grabbed some false identification papers and slipped into Russia disguised as an unskilled laborer. If you've ever had a bad travel experience, you can rest assured that you at least didn't end up in the gulag. But Father Zizek...
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here?
DDT! This spells trouble for McDonough.
Taking advantage of the opportunity.
And they score the win. What a tag match.
Frostbite and starvation. Despite brutal conditions,
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
Celebrate Mass in secret and bring comfort to his fellow prisoners. While some people were just trying to survive, he was out there making sure others could hold on to their faith. In 1955, Zizek's sentence was cut short because he worked too hard. Seriously, what? Who gets released from being a slave because they're such a good slave? He exceeded his labor quotas, and instead of sending him home, the Soviets forced him to live in a remote city where he worked in a chemical factory. At this point, his family in the U.S. still...
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go take what you want?
Setting up.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT!
This spells trouble for McDonough.
Precision offense into the pin. This could be it.
What a kick out at 2. Just an incredible wherewithal to get the the shoulder up. You would think he'd be out of it after taking that maneuver.
And you got to think that all the plans are out the window after that.
Down with the Samoan drop.
Wasting no time. Shoulders are down.
Got it. What a tag match we just saw.
That's quite the ethical.
Here are winners. The team of Jacob.
Mega churches to tiny shrines in the middle of nowhere. Humans love to believe in something bigger than themselves. But when did it all start? Scientists have been scratching their heads over this for a while. They know modern religion didn't just pop into existence like a bad internet trend. It had to come from somewhere. And if you follow that logic, then Homo sapiens probably didn't invent it from scratch. New research shows that religion likely evolved over time, just like language, fire-making, and our ability to be irrationally angry at inanimate objects. French sociologist Emile Durkheim, a big brain in this area, argued that religion started as a social experience.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
Uh-oh. And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
Immediate cover after the impact. There's two.
And that's it. Scores the win for the team.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T.
Haven't found any ancient prayer books, but they have found some pretty weird stuff that suggests Homo erectus was getting into some form of ritualistic behavior. For example, in Java, Indonesia, scientists found skulls that had been deliberately tampered with. Specifically, the brain cases had been opened up. Unless Homo erectus was into extreme DIY skull modifications, this suggests some kind of ritual, possibly involving cannibalism. Was it religious? Was it just a really weird dinner party?
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
What's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu, and that was an expertly executed DDT. There's two.
Got it. What a match and what a great team.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Brand Stewart, and Wade Barrett.
But it still doesn't rule out the original god being an adorable black bear. Even more amazing is that there's solid evidence that later humans picked up religious habits from Homo erectus. Things like engraved shells that could have had religious symbolism, Venus figures that may have been religious icons, and collections of red pigment possibly used in rituals. So, did Homo erectus have religion? And since it was obviously pagan, are all of humanity's ancestors currently burning in the sixth circle of hell? That's too heavy for me to answer. Let me know your opinion in the comments. And now for a quick break. But first, I wanted to give a shout out and big thank you to Mana and Hannah Flint for supporting this channel. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already for more videos like this. The insanity of the phantom time hypothesis. Everything you thought you knew about time is false, at least according to the phantom time hypothesis, which claims the Catholic Church faked 300 years of history. If the phantom time hypothesis is true, it means we aren't currently living in the 21st century. Humanity is still in the 1700s. 300 years of history from 614 to 911 AD never happened. All the events of those years during a period known as the Dark Ages were fabricated by medieval elites who wanted to mess with the calendar. Sounds ridiculous, right? But that didn't stop German historian Herbert Illich from proposing the theory. Herbert claimed that Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and possibly Byzantine Emperor Constantine VIII conspired to rewrite time itself. Why pull off such a charade? Because they wanted to rule in the year 1000, which seemed special, so they tweaked time. The issue with this theory is that it totally changes history. It would mean some of the biggest events in medieval history never happened. No Charlemagne, no Viking raids on England, no Muslim conquest of Spain. Just a giant elaborate hoax pulled off by a few medieval guys with way too much time.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point. Jacob's planning something here.
And looking at Jacob for 2.
DDT! This spells trouble for McDonough.
2 count.
Got it. There's the winners of the tag match.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob.
If 300 years have been randomly inserted into history, these events wouldn't match up with our current models of how the universe works. If the church didn't make up history, why do people still believe? While the phantom time hypothesis is entertaining, it's also a perfect example of how conspiracy theories work. David Heyman, an independent researcher of alternative history, said, "These claims really can't be supported. Illich is just stirring the pot, and here we are discussing it, so I guess he's doing well."
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron.
He has a hold of JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu. DDT plants them.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
2.
And it's over. Big tag team win there.
Then again, behind one, astronomy.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
If you know the truth, sound off in the comments. The Pope who started the slave trade. History is full of bad decisions, but few have had the lasting, world-altering consequences of Pope Nicholas V's stamp of approval on the Portuguese slave trade. Remember that awful period in history when human beings were treated like cattle? Yeah, blame the Pope for that one. In the mid-15th century, as Portugal expanded into West Africa, a bunch of ambitious sailors, greedy merchants, and one enthusiastic pope laid the groundwork for the transatlantic slave trade. In 1441, Portuguese captain Anton Gonçalves sailed...
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn?
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here? Oh, and a DDT!
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
2.
Comes out on top in this tag team match.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob.
When Gonçalves returned to Portugal, he made a deal with the 2 Berber captives. They promised to trade 10 sub-Saharan Africans for their own freedom. And just like that, the slave trade began. You might be wondering how Portugal got away with trading human people. The legal and moral questions about enslavement were a bit fuzzy back then. Medieval Iberian law already had rules about enslaving Muslims, Jews, and Christians, but there were no rules against people who didn't fit into those categories. In came Pope Nicholas.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron.
What's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu and just planting him with that DDT there.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
2.
Big time win in this tag team match.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
Turned human trafficking into a divine mission. It wasn't just business anymore. The Pope made it like a quest. Good Christians were encouraged to enslave non-Christians. Portugal didn't keep the slave trade to itself for long. Soon, Spain, France, England, and the Netherlands all jumped in. Within a few centuries, the transatlantic slave trade became one of the largest forced migrations in history. Ironically, the same papal bull that justified enslaving Africans also gave Christianized Africans a legal loophole.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in the looking to hit this.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Absolutely spiked DDT. 2. Big time win in this tag team match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
Centuries. And all because one Portuguese captain thought, hey, what if we kidnapped people? The controversy of the golden calf worship site. If there's one thing humans have always been good at, it's making bad decisions under pressure. Like that one time Moses went for a walk and everyone started worshipping a baby cow. Wait, you missed that part of the Bible? Let me hook you up with a recap. According to the book of Exodus, Moses left his people alone for a hot minute. Okay, it was actually 40 days. He left to go have a chat with God.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar. He has all the JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Is that all she wrote for McDonough?
2.
Wow, got it. Big time tag team win.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
Instantly making a false idol based on the Apis bull god. And get this, Exodus chapter 32 verse 4 records that the Israelites didn't just say, this is your God. They went hardcore over this thing, saying, these are your gods, O Israel, who brought you up out of Egypt. They built a big flashy altar in front of the golden calf. They had a full festival with burnt offerings, feasting and dancing, as is written in Exodus chapter 32 verse 6. The Apostle Paul later wrote that
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point.
Jacob's planning something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Spiked. Jacob about to end this fight.
There's 2.
And that's it. Scores the win for the team.
he was like, you want to worship a
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
3,000 people. And if that wasn't punishment enough, another 20,000 people died from a plague. That's the story, but what I want to talk about is its validity. Did this really happen? Can the golden calf worship site be found? Archaeologists have amazingly discovered a potential site near the holy mountain Jabal Machla, believed to be the real Mount Sinai in the Bible. There are dozens of bull petroglyphs, including one of a dude literally lifting a bull above his head like it's Simba. Researchers found a pile of large rocks, possibly...
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go take what you want?
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here? What a DDT! Is that all she wrote for McDonough? 2! Comes out on top in this tag team match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
world of espionage, covert operations, and priests trained to parachute into enemy territory. Catholic priests are secretly being trained in combat, firearms, and skydiving. Vatican espionage isn't just about whispering confessions. It's about dodging KGB agents, infiltrating the USSR, and helping a Polish priest become pope and take down communism. Whoa, that just escalated. Let me back things up a bit. A new book called Vatican Spies by Yvonne Denol pulls back the...
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
Yeah, Judgment Day won't rest until there's nobody left to oppose them, until they have completely taken over WWE.
Guys, if this match wants to live up to the rich history here in Minneapolis.
And you know what's next, guys? DDT! Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
Wasting no time.
official branch of Western intelligence, the Vatican realized that taking down communism was priority number one. So they created Russicum, a top-secret Vatican spy program that turned priests into action heroes. According to declassified reports, priests were trained in hand-to-hand combat, given firearms training, and taught how to jump out of planes and parachute into Soviet-controlled territory. Just in case you were wondering if this is an exaggeration...
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here?
Connecting on the DDT. Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it? 2 count.
Got it. There's the winners of the tag match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T.
He openly supported Poland's anti-communist movement, gave speeches that sent Soviet leaders into a rage, and played a real-life game of chess against the USSR. Things got so intense that in 1981, an assassin shot him 4 times in broad daylight in many of this. It's crazy, right? A secret spy program that made a communist-hating Pope is movie material. Miraculously, he survived the shooting. It's thought the KGB may have ordered the hit. The thing to know is that the Vatican is a spy paradise. According to former Polish spy Tomasz Starowski, during John Paul II's reign, there were more spies in the Vatican than in James Bond films. Why? Because the Vatican is a gold mine for intelligence. It's neutral territory, so diplomats, world leaders, and shady characters are always passing through. They travel everywhere, making them perfect informants in unstable regions. It even has its own secret police called the Vigilance.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Bob.
He has a hold of JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT.
Is that all she wrote for McDonough?
2 count.
And they score the win. What a tag match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Rey Mysterio, and Wade Barrett.
This is the reason why Christians only eat fish. But I suppose you could eat reptiles too, since they're also cold-blooded. As the Christian calendar expanded with more and more meatless days, Fridays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, Advent, Lent, and any time someone looked at a saint the wrong way, the demand for fish skyrocketed. At first, medieval Christians made do with herring, a fish that was easy to catch but about as appetizing as chewing on a damp sponge. The real game changer was cod. It was tasty, cured well, and lasted longer than most medieval...
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron.
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here? Is that all she wrote for McDonough?
That might have done it. This could be it.
And it's over. Big tag team win there.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T.
Don't believe how weary I am of fish and how much I desire meat to return again. Sounds like a fresh vegetarian. Then along came Henry VIII, lover of women, destroyer of monasteries, and unexpected enemy of fish. When Henry fell head over heels for Anne Boleyn, he had a slight problem. He was already married, and the Pope wouldn't let him divorce his wife, Catherine of Aragon. Henry did what any lovesick king would do. He broke away from the Catholic Church, founded the Church of England, and married Anne. Eating fish suddenly became...
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn?
What's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu, and that was a hell of a DDT there.
Jacob about to end this fight. just saw.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Butcher.
To start meeting it up, the economic impact was immediate. U.S. fish prices tanked and the industry panicked. One man saw an opportunity. In a largely Catholic part of Cincinnati, McDonald's franchise owner Lou Groen noticed that sales plummeted on Friday because customers were avoiding meat. His solution was the fillet of fish. It wasn't exactly the miracle of loaves and fishes, but it worked. The sandwich became a staple, helping keep McDonald's afloat on Fridays and proving that even fast food can have religion.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
Yeah, Judgment Day.
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here?
DDT! This spells trouble for McDonough.
They're about to put it away.
2. Scores the win. What a great team.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Rand Stewart,
Detailed written accounts from a trusted German Jesuit who was sending Vatican HQ a real-time news feed of Nazi atrocities. And where did the Vatican keep this bombshell document? Oh, you know, just stuffed in a random attic in plastic containers where heat and humidity were slowly destroying it. When it comes to handling sensitive historical evidence, the Vatican takes inspiration from your grandma's attic. What exactly was in this letter? On December 14th, 1942, a German Jesuit priest...
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly. Goodness, could be big!
Lights out. DDT connects.
Jacob about to end this fight.
2 count.
And they score the win. What a tag match.
here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Rand Stewart, and Wade Bang!
Required diplomacy to save Jewish lives. His critics say he failed to use his moral authority when it mattered most. This letter really complicates the Vatican's old excuse because by the time Pius XII received it, he had already gotten multiple diplomatic reports about the Holocaust and was being begged to make a public statement. There's no other way to look at it. The Pope knew and said nothing. Now what? The Vatican is in a really awkward position. What do you think they should do going forward? Should Pope Pius XII...
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron.
Oh, this could be something!
And looking at Jacob Fatu, and planted them with a well-executed DDT.
This spells trouble for McDonough.
Got it! What a tag match we just saw!
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
Tour operators, never once to miss a cash cow, jumped in. Even now, nearly 2 decades later, Da Vinci Code tours are still a thing. Clément Savary, an official Saint-Sulpice guide, is not a fan of the Da Vinci tours. He compared them to the Jack the Ripper tours of London, saying they're packed with nonsense. But just what exactly are these conspiracy-loving tourists looking for at Saint-Sulpice? One of the biggest tourist attractions is the Normand, an astronomical device built in 1727.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn? Jacob's playing something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
And coming in for the match.
2. Got it! What a match and what a great team!
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
Clément Savary says the painting is a very common Christian symbol. It's Saint Michael killing a dragon. That's it. Beyond all the Da Vinci Code madness, Sam's Cell-Piece does have some fascinating real history. It's played host to major figures like Robespierre and Victor Hugo, and its hidden chapels contain stunning artwork and architectural gems. One of these, the Assumption Chapel, was built in the 18th century for the parish's poorest residents. Early morning masses were held here for those who couldn't afford the grand...
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly. What's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu, and that DDT was well delivered.
Jacob about to end this fight. Wow, got it. Big time tag team win.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
Nice try, but let's be real. When you have dozens of miles of underground, fireproof, reinforced concrete shelves filled with centuries-old documents, people are going to assume you're hiding some wild stuff. I introduce you now to Archbishop Sergio Pagano, the guy who's been in charge of this treasure trove for the last 45 years. As he's preparing to retire, he's decided to spill the beans on some of the Vatican's lesser-known secrets in a new book-length interview titled Secretum.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule-bending, backstage ambushes, do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go take what you want? If you don't like it, then stay out of the way.
Staying out of Judgment Day's business might be easier said than done. They're always looking for their...
Oh, it's coming!
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Implanted by the DDT. Jacob about to end this fight.
There's two.
Got it. There's the winners of the tag match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
When Pope Benedict XV died, the cardinal in charge of the treasury opened the Vatican's safe and found nothing. Not a coin, not a banknote, not even an IOU. Benedict wasn't exactly a financial whiz, and the Vatican was in the red. Here's the secret. America came to the rescue. U.S. Catholics scraped together every last cent they could find, sending a grand total of $210,400.09 to Rome. That money funded the conclave that elected Pope Pius.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in there. Jacob's playing something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Jacob about to end this fight.
2 count.
Comes out on top in this tag team match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, and Wade Barrett.
Being taken down in this manner will only make the Judgment Day more ruthless and more vengeful.
This loss puts the strength of the Judgment Day in serious question.
A lot of what is known about the Bible today comes from legend. As far as the story goes, it was a Benedictine monk living in a monastery who wrote the book after he was sentenced to die. The monk broke his vows and was sentenced to be walled up alive. This was a horrific sentence imposed on only the most treacherous people. The victim would be put into a room with no door and no windows and just left inside to slowly wither away. Imagine being locked in a basement with no food or water, not so much as a peanut butter sandwich. To avoid this most miserable punishment, the monk promised to write the most beautiful Bible anyone had ever seen in a single night. Not only a Bible, but a book of infinite wisdom containing all knowledge known to humanity. Hearing the offer, the abbot who sentenced the monk to die could not refuse. If someone was offering you a book of infinite knowledge, you'd be a little curious. The monk sat down and tried to write a book of knowledge, but quickly realized it wasn't going to happen, not without a little outside assistance. Who better to assist with the impossible than the master of lies? The monk reached out to the devil. He traded his eternal soul for the devil to complete his great book in an instant. The devil finished the manuscript in the blink of an eye, adding an enormous image of himself on one of the pages, kind of like a signature. How much of the legend is true, I can't say for certain. The Devil's Bible is a mystery that contains both both the Old Testament and the New Testament. That's 2 Bibles for the price of 1. Its real title is Codex Gigas, which in Latin means giant book. Scientific tests have shown it was likely written in the 13th century. The manuscript is so big and so immaculately crafted that scientists think it would have taken 5 years of work to complete. Not 5 years as in working for 8 hours a day, 5 years as in working 43,800 hours straight. The most likely scenario is that it took a lifetime to complete the Devil's Bible. It contains the complete Bible, a partial copy of the Vulgate, a pair of works from an ancient Jewish historian, instructions on exorcisms, the medical knowledge of Constantine the African, a random calendar, and a variety of unusual alchemical sketches. One of the strangest parts is that 10 pages are missing from this most amazing of books. Supposedly the pages were destroyed during a fire in 1697, but what if those 10 pages were removed on purpose because they contain something shocking? One theory is that the missing pages are part of the Devil's Prayer, which corresponds to the picture of the devil in the book. They were intentionally removed, perhaps by members of the Vatican, because the prayer can be used for getting in touch with the
Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Byron.
This could be big.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT. Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
And Adam going for the victory.
Is this it? Big time win in this tag team match.
Adam, it might be a little strange at first.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Rey Mysterio, and Wade Barrett.
And during a loss like this will cause the Judgment Day to question their powers.
This type of defeat will force the Judgment Day to strike back. There will be severe repercussions with devastating impact.
Each red blood cell had a rhesus factor characterized as either Rh positive or Rh negative. For most people, they have Rh positive blood. I already mentioned that 15% of people have Rh negative blood, but that's not the entire story. This is where things get weird and where scientists start to lose track of what makes sense. The number is 15% for Caucasians. However, only 8% of black people have Rh negative blood, and only 1% of Asians have it. To explain this, scientists typically bring up the blue eye phenomenon. As you may already know, most people have brown eyes. But 10,000 years ago, everyone had brown eyes. Then a genetic mutation happened, likely in a single person. This led to the emergence of blue and green eyes. All these years later, an estimated 8% of the global population has blue eyes. Wait a minute, is this a science lecture, or are you here to learn about shocking secrets of the Vatican? The point of all this science is to say nobody knows where rhesus-negative blood comes from, nor why such a small number of people have it. But there are suggestions. One potential answer is that Rh-negative blood is a mutation like blue eyes. Another potential answer is that the blood comes from the descendants of a unique species. It is plausible that Rh-negative blood came into the human genome during an unusual encounter thousands of years ago. Maybe humans bred with reptilian monsters. Maybe they bred with aliens. Maybe Homo sapiens mixed with fallen angels, just like it says in the Bible. Scientists already know that humans mated with other species of early humans, like Neanderthals and Denisovans. I don't want to speak for our whole species, but we do have a long history of playing fast and loose. It could be the Rh-negative blood is all we have left of the Nephilim, and the Vatican knows it. Do you know your blood type? Look to the angel. You may have heard the rumors that the Vatican has a real angel chained up in their basement. I'm picturing an angel stuck in a well, a couple weird priests, and a basket of fish. Somewhere in the secret archives is an angelic creature with wings.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar. Jacob's planning something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu. DDT plants that.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
2.
And it's over. Big tag team win there.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
We're cruising.
In Rome, bound for Vatican City, where she lived with her father. Her father was a prominent Vatican employee. Emanuela was last seen at roughly 7:30 p.m. waiting at the bus stop. She should have gotten on the bus, gotten off near her home, and been there within minutes. But she never made it onto that bus. It's assumed she was kidnapped, but by who? It has been over 40 years with no definitive conclusions. As you may know already, there have been a ton.
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Bob. Jacob's planning something here. And looking at Jacob, too. Brought down with a DDT.
Jacob about to end this fight.
Two.
And it's over. Big tag team win there.
In 2018, the Orlandi family's lawyer received...
Here are your winners, the team up.
Graves would need to be dug up inside the Teutonic Cemetery. The mysterious letter included a picture of an angel statue saying, "Search where the angel was." The angel was looking at the tombs of a pair of princesses. On July 11, 2019, both tombs were dug up. To the shock of everyone involved, the graves were empty. The diggers didn't find Emanuela's bones, but the bones that were supposed to be there were gone as well. Princess Sophie and Duchess Charlotte Frederica were gone. Then things took a turn.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar. Going for the home run.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT. This spells trouble for McDonough, and then quickly the cover.
Two.
Wow, got it. Big time tag team win.
Here are your winners, the team up. Jacob Fatu.
Very near to Pope Francis. The Cardinals were discussing an unspecified object that was moved prior to the exhumation of the tombs in the Teutonic Cemetery. The unspecified object was placed in a different crypt to avoid being found. This was a huge break in the case, especially since the Orlandi family refused to reveal the identities of the Cardinals. The Cardinals must have been important people and potentially dangerous for the family not to press the issue. It's still unclear what was in the hidden chamber or what happened to Emanuela.
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn?
What's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu. And that was some vicious DDT we just saw.
Jacob about to end this fight. And they score the win. What a tag match.
Here are your winners, the team up. Jacob Fatu, Booker T.
The Catholic Constitution, they did unimaginable damage. It began in earnest in 1452. Pope Nicholas V issued papal bull Dum Diversis. It was a decree which allowed King Alfonso V of Portugal to subjugate anyone seen as an enemy of Christ. Anyone who was pagan within Portuguese territory could be reduced to perpetual servitude. That's what the document actually says. Perpetual servitude as in eternal slavery. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Pagans could have their belongings...
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
Yeah, Judgment Day.
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here? Ooh, DDT.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it? Oh, this could be over.
Two. Big time win in this tag team match.
Here are your winners, the team up. Jacob Fatu.
The edicts used to legitimize the seizure of indigenous land have been formally retracted. It happened after a group of Inuit, Métis, and other First Nations representatives traveled to Rome to meet with Pope Francis himself.
We're going alright.
Do you think it's too little, too late? Or is this an honest first step by the Vatican to make up for the atrocities of the Age of Discovery? The Secret of Mary. Leonardo da Vinci may have been given more biblical secrets than anybody knows. In 2003, Dan Brown's novel The Da Vinci Code struck struck a chord with people around the globe. The book,
the Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point. And look at this. And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Inside all, she roll for McDonough.
2 count.
And that's it. Scores the win for the team.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob.
Table is clearly a man and one of Jesus' 12 disciples, except for the person sitting to his right. All the other figures in the painting are masculine, some are bearded, and they all look a little bit dirty. You'd look a little dirty too if you lived in first century Jerusalem. But the person on Jesus' right looks suspiciously like Mary Magdalene. There's nothing masculine about the figure. Experts in Renaissance artwork don't typically agree with this point of view. They say in previous paintings of the Last Supper, John was also painted with a more feminine flair. It was typical for painters to depict John as a little bit dainty, but then how do they explain the Gospel of Mary? The Bible is a patchwork of stories that have been carefully picked from an astounding number of Gospels that were written near the start of Christianity. The stories that the church liked made it into the final version of the Bible, such as the Gospels of Matthew and John and Luke. But the Gospels the church didn't like never made it into the abridged version of the Bible, including the Gospel as written by Mary, Jesus' lover. In the 1800s, an ancient collection of books that never made it into the Bible was discovered in Egypt, somewhere near Akhmim. They were purchased by German scholar Dr. Karl Reinhardt and taken to Berlin for study in 1896. It turned out this was the most important group of lost Gospels that has ever been found. They were published in 1955, much to the displeasure of the Vatican. The collection includes a number of exciting Gospels, including testimonies that totally changed the meaning of Christianity. But it's the Gospel of Mary that stands out as the most exciting. It's one of my favorites, simply for the fact that it backs up the...
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
This looks like the setup, too.
And looking at Jacob Fatu, he just got caught with that DDT.
This spells trouble for McDonough.
2.
Scores the win. What a great team.
They're followers of the doctrine of the serpent seed.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
They claim that Eve didn't eat the apple to get kicked out. She mated with the serpent, Satan's child. The son that she bore with Satan was Cain, while the son that she bore with Adam was Abel. This would make the story of Cain and Abel a little more relatable, since they weren't full siblings and were only half-brothers. That's not too weird, right? Don't worry, it's going to get weirder. Followers of the serpent seed believe Eve's promiscuity by cheating on her human partner with a giant talking snake resulted in the creation of 2 different races of human. There were the descendants of the serpent, cursed to be damned for all eternity. Then there were the descendants of Adam, blessed from the beginning to gain eternal life. As the years went by, the 2 different races of people intermingled and mixed. Now there are 8.1 billion people on this planet, and the followers of the serpent seed believe all of them are descendants of Satan himself. Does that mesh with what you know of human beings in general? This unusual religious belief gained a lot of traction in the first 100 years after Christ died, but then it started to disappear. It didn't really come back until the 19th century, during an explosion of American religious divergence. The serpent seed became a way to promote white supremacy in America. The myth of the serpent seed lasted 2,000 years, just to be promoted by the Ku Klux Klan and the American Nazi Party. Alien civilizations. The Vatican knows that alien civilizations exist, and so does the U.S. government. According to
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go take what you want?
We're about to see.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Caught with a DDT.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
2. Got it. There's the winners of the tag match.
Here are your winners. The team of
unlimited technology will instead result in all-out war. It's easy to laugh this type of thing off as silly or foolish. Why on earth would an astronaut be emailing a politician about alien technology in the Vatican? It does seem like something that belongs in a movie, not in our reality. But these are real leaked emails sent between two very real people in positions of power. At the time the emails were exchanged, John Podesta was serving as the advisor to President Barack Obama. Later on, he would become the head of...
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way.
What's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu, and a heck of a DDT we just witnessed.
This spells trouble for McDonough.
There's two.
Got it. What a tag match we just saw.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Brandon Stewart, and Wade Barrett.
And during a loss like this will cause the Judgment Day to question their powers.
The Judgment Day won't go away. This kind of loss will only drive them to finish the job.
Weird Catholic hairdos. There is something even more diabolical than the Vatican's hidden knowledge of aliens. It's even stranger than the serpent seed doctrine. Dare I say it's even more frightening than the devil's Bible. I'm talking about a bizarre haircut that has been rocked by Roman Catholic priests through the centuries. The haircut is known as the tonsure. Take a look at these wacky pictures and tell me it isn't the worst hairdo you've ever seen in your life. It's worse than a backwards mohawk. It's worse than the greasiest mullet to ever be greased. Members of the Vatican used to wear this haircut as a badge of honor. They shaved all the hair on their head, except for a thin ring of hair around their scalp, just above the forehead and behind the ears. The tonsure looks ridiculous today, but it held great significance to monks and priests during the Roman Empire. The first maniac to take a razor to their head and leave only a thin strip of hair can be traced to the 4th century AD. This was right around the time Rome fell to its enemies. The haircut was likely meant as a symbol of a priest or monk's dedication to Jesus Christ. 1600 years ago, followers of Christ were a lot more invested in his original message than many followers today. It's easy to forget in the stress of everyday modern life that Jesus Christ was all about casting aside the vanity of the world and embracing humility. To be frank, Christ's teachings were strikingly similar to teachings in Buddhism, Hinduism, and Sikhism. Jesus was all about shedding immaterial things and living a modest existence. The tonsure haircut reflected this. It was a symbol of somebody's willingness to cast off the greed of the world and live simply. To understand just how close early Christianity was with religions in Asia, you need look no further than this truly awful haircut. It was worn by Roman Catholic priests and Buddhists and Hindus. Part of the inspiration may have also been the crown of thorns worn by Jesus Christ during the crucifixion. Monks adopted the hairstyle not only to prove their humility, it was also a way of emulating the suffering of Christ as they pledged to live lives of self-denial and obedience. What are your thoughts on the tonsure? Do you think with enough effort we can bring the style back? Maybe after a few TikTok videos, everyone will be...
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn?
What's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu, and that was an expertly executed DDT into the pinfall for the victory.
Got it. What a match and what a great team.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob.
One major religion today that put its focus on universal mysteries instead of gods. Basilides lived during the rule of Emperor Hadrian, supreme leader of Rome from 117 until 138 AD. He was likely friends with another famous Gnostic teacher, Valentinus. While people were still trying to understand what the message Jesus Christ had given the world was, Basilides traveled to Rome and started preaching his own message. He became surprisingly popular, soon starting a whole movement.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar. He has all the JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Jacob about to end this fight. 2. Scores the win. What a great team.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Rey Mysterio, and Wade Barrett.
With the Judgment Day suffering defeat, I fear they'll make everyone pay for their sins.
The collection of gospel texts I talked about earlier, the Gospels found in Egypt that includes the one about Mary Magdalene being a disciple. In that same collection of texts are other Gnostic works suggesting Jesus was not what the Vatican says he is. Basilides taught that Jesus is indeed the Savior, only he didn't come to earth to die on the cross for the sins of humanity. Instead, he came to teach spiritual knowledge that would uplift humans from their depressed states. In other words, Jesus came to cheer folks up and bless their spirits, which he hoped would help human beings understand their place in the universe. The Ark and the Pyramid. Where did the Ark of the Covenant
The Judgment Day is assembled here with nothing but menacing looks on their faces. They're out to do some serious damage here tonight.
Aren't they always? The Judgment Day approaches every match with astounding ferocity. They're not here to make friends or to compete fairly.
Good point, Mike.
He has all the JD.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT delivered.
This spells trouble for McDonough.
There's 2.
Comes out on top in this tag team match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
They are to abide by God's rules. But what do you do with giant stone tablets when you're at the top of a mountain? I imagine they would have been a little heavy for Moses to carry around with him. Not to worry, God thought of everything. He provided Moses with instructions on how to build the Ark of the Covenant to keep his new stone tablets in. God said wherever the Ark went, he would be present. Naturally, the holy reliquary was plated with gold. It wouldn't be a Christian relic if it didn't have at least a little bit of gold. Gold rings were attached to
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go take what you want? If you don't like it, then stay out of the way.
Staying out of Judgment Day's business might be easier said than done.
Jacob's planning something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
What a DDT! Wow. This spells trouble for McDonough.
2.
And they score the win. What a tag match.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
As is the Ark. Some think the artifacts were captured by the Romans and stored within the Vatican. All the pieces of advanced technology were stripped from all Egyptian pyramids and either stored somewhere or destroyed. You might be wondering what proof there is to back up these incredible theories. There are indeed hidden chambers within the pyramid that serve no obvious purpose. These could have been used for multiple Ark-like objects that created immense energy. What that energy
We
was
are
used for,
very
I could
slowly
possibly
getting
say.
there.
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way. Jacob's planning something here.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Boom! DDT! Is that all she wrote for McDonough?
2 count.
Big time win in this tag team match.
Edgardo was born in 1851 to a family of Jewish merchants.
Here are your winners,
Shortly
the
after-
team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Rey Mysterio, and Wade Barrett.
And during a loss like this will cause the Judgment Day to question their powers.
The Judgment Day won't go away. This kind of loss will only drive them to finish the job.
It turned out to be quite different in the family. When Anna admitted to the church that she had baptized the child, they decided he was officially Catholic. A group of the Pope's personal police arrived in the family's home in June 1858. The police informed the parents that Edgardo had secretly been baptized and was now a Catholic child. It was illegal for a Catholic child to be raised by Jewish parents. So the police forcibly took Edgardo and brought him to the Vatican. For a really weird reason that's never been explained, the child was personally taken under the wing of Pope Pius IX. Maybe it was inappropriate, maybe it was a Michael Jackson situation, or maybe the Pope just really liked the kid. When Edgardo grew up, he became a priest. The Kingdom of Italy captured the Vatican in 1870.
Well, I said, guys, I'm not busting my hump,
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, all in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar in their way. Jacob's planning something here.
And looking at Jacob for two.
Down by the DDT. This spells trouble for McDonough. Two.
And it's over. Big tag team win there.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu, Booker T, Rey Mysterio, and Wade Barrett.
Oh, it's having a moment.
People have been saying that forever. However, David's been taken more seriously than other whistleblowers because he did in fact serve in the Air Force for 14 years. He's a decorated veteran who's worked with the National Reconnaissance Office and the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. He had access to secrets as normal people only learn about on YouTube. David said the first known UFO recovery took place in the city of Magenta, Italy. It was 1933, and most people didn't even know what a flying saucer was. The object was collected by its...
The Judgment Day has turned themselves into one of the most formidable groups in all of WWE. Cutthroat tactics, rule bending, backstage ambushes. They'll do whatever it takes to win.
I respect Judgment Day's approach to competition. Why play by the rules and wait your turn when you can just go take... Jacob's planning something here.
And looking at Jacob for two.
Absolutely spot DDT.
There's two.
Got it. There's the winners of the tag match.
To this day, there was no explanation as to why.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
There were originally 80 books in the Bible when it was translated from Latin to English back in 1611. These days there are only 66. The missing books are known as the Apocrypha, which in Greek means hidden. The missing books include Esdras, Tobit, Judith, the Wisdom of Solomon, the Songs of the Three Holy Children, Bel and the Dragon, Maccabees, and the Prayer for Manasses. Even stranger is that Jesus...
Here we go with the Judgment Day in the ring. This group causes chaos and destruction wherever they go, in the pursuit of amassing as much power as they can.
Judgment Day is a legitimate threat to anyone in WWE. They have the numbers, the talent, and they will smash any superstar. And you know what's next, guys?
And looking at Jacob for two.
DDT. Jacob about to end this fight.
Two.
And that's it. Scores the win for the team.
But there is no...
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob.
Various. They don't seem to include any secrets. But for whatever reason, the Catholic Church chose to remove them from the Bible so that the Word of God was exactly what they wanted it to be. Alien influences. Russian professor Genrikh Ludwig allegedly gained access to the secret Vatican archives in the 1920s and came upon some extremely disturbing information.
Alright guys, it's doing its free shit, so we'll tap out for now, but we'll be back later on today. I'm going to grind for a little bit more, but I'll be back later with another grind. Till then,
The story goes that Ludwig was allowed into the
stay
archives.
safe, take care.